Greetings, my fellow pirates. I'm Dooz Diz Din, back with another One Piece chapter review. This time it's chapter 929, titled Orochi Kurozumi, Wano Country Shogun. We open with a delightful cover page of all of our favorite straw hats as ninjas, not just Chopper and Nami, but Robin, wielding dual pistols, Nami with a giant Gatling gun, Chopper doing the whole kite jutsu or whatever, Frankie with a pretty sick facial tattoo, Zoro wielding a sickle and chain. Combine those two words, you make chickle. Weird. Sanji throwing out some ninja stars. Usopp doing the Shadow Clone no Jutsu. Luffy in the background, performing some kind of ninjutsu, and Brook with his soul powers activate, looking like Ghost Rider. A cool double page spread is now my background wall for my desktop. Good stuff. But in the story proper, we open up in Wano Country Flower Capital, where we see Frankie talking to his master Minatomo. This is the guy who's been a carpenter across the One Piece series, showing up in certain sections here and there, repairing this, that, and whatnot. He's been an Easter egg character, but now he's really in the story proper. And, he's berating Frankie over the fact that Frankie went to go see the whatchamacallit, the geisha, whatever the fuck her name was, the bitch, the gold digger. But Orochi's trying to get Minatomo to basically tell him about the blueprints for, the mansion on Onigashima, Kaido's residence, so for the infiltration. But apparently we come to find out that Minatomo had sold it 10 years ago. He had pawned it off, and Frankie loses his shit, just beating down Minatomo right there on the spot and basically getting kicked out. And Frankie's like, whatever, dude, I only came here to get those blueprints. Without it, you're useless to me. So Frankie basically has to go on a massive fetch quest, going throughout the Flower Capital trying to get those blueprints back. He runs into Kanjuro, who's selling his painted fish, which anyone who puts any of that in water is going to be very disappointed with it. It's just like, why does this fish taste like ink? Or like, why is this suddenly like turning into ink in the water? What's going on? But he goes running all across Wano trying to obtain the blueprints, from pawn people to people from loan houses, landlords, geishas, all kinds of people just all over, until ultimately, he meets up with a dude named Camel who had sold it to someone in Curry who had, was cloaked and masked and just this unseen figure. So it's just like he's run into a dead end. And he, contacts Kinemon about this. It's just like, yo, man, I'm sorry, I tried to figure something out, but I just couldn't get anything in. So ultimately, it's decided that Frankie will do something else in this time in the capital, but they don't really know who could have possibly purchased the blueprints to Kaido's mansion. Meanwhile, we see what the Mink tribe, Lord Inuarashi and his people have been doing in the country of Wano, which is basically they've been going around stealing food and weaponry from the various factories, doing it under the radar, under the nose of a lot of Kaido's men. And while doing this, they've also been leaving behind calling cards signed by Shutenmaru. So they're basically trying to frame Shutenmaru, forcing his hand in order to get him involved in the fight against Kaido. Oh, Shutenmaru's gonna be pissed. It's just like, you did what? Freaking Cartman ass looking bastard. He is going to be angry something fierce. Meanwhile, we see what Zoro's been up to, and it's thanks to a person named Tonoyasu, or just Yasu for short, who had helped him out with where we previously saw him on this riverboat. And basically, Zoro's been traveling with Tonoyasu on these various, wild, crazy adventures where, they've been going to inns, gambling, drinking, getting into various fights, just a whole bunch of wacky adventures of Zoro and Yasu as they finally manage to make their way to the flower capital. More specifically, they're on the outskirts of Leftover Town where we last see them. So we'll see what happens once Zoro finally makes his way back into the capital and what kind of havoc he'll wreak while he's there. Meanwhile, we pick up back at the flower capital where we see Lord Orochi finally meeting up with, of all people, CP0 on behalf of the Celestial Dragons. And we come to find out that, they've been selling weaponry, which I'm pretty sure we knew this, but they've been selling weaponry through Joker as an intermediary between Kaido and the world government. So that's how a lot of the world government officials have been getting their weaponry and wares. But, with Joker no longer being there, now the world government has to beg and scrape for what they need through their official channels. But Oroshi's just like, dude, I don't really even need you guys or your money anymore. I have everything I could possibly want for my country. Last time we wanted battleships, but hell, the only possible thing I could want from all of this is, of all people, the only thing I could possibly want from this is Dr. Vegapunk, which they're just like, yeah, no way. And he even goes as far as to, shoot one of the CPHs in the face. It doesn't harm the dude, but, it's obviously was taken off guard by this. But he's just like, well, nothing really matters to me. I have Kaido at my back. So no matter what you choose to do, I get my way in the end. And then we see, Orochi go off to have this massive celebration banquet with all this food. Some of it he's just throwing to the ground and he's throwing off. He's like, I don't want it. It's just like, bringing me fish and, drinks and ladies. And we even see Kurosaki show up and she's just like, oh, your majesty, playing up to him. And we finally truly see the face of Lord Kurozumi Orochi, and he looks like a doof. He looks like friggin' Wario with this gigantic head, grappling onto Kurozuchi. And he's just kind of, playing it up. He's celebrating. He's having a great time. It's like, eat, drink, and be merry. It's just like, don't confuse this for heaven. It's the greatest place on earth. Wah, 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 wah. And he's just such an ugly little fuck. And, it is... We kind of got a prelude into this when we saw the silhouetted shadow of his, Orochi form, which looked doofy as all get out, so naturally he himself was doofy as all hell. And we see the repercussions of what Sanji had done in the previous chapter with Law visiting him and saying, yo, Black Hat Leg, go hide somewhere. And at first Sanji's just like, it's those guys from before are back again, I can handle them. And it's just like, no, not these people. This time, Orochi and Kaido have sent out their big hitters who will know what you look like. This time they've sent out Hawkins and X-Drake, as well as another of the headliners, one of them called Page One. And we come to see, the full identity of X-Drake's Devil Fruit, which is in fact the Dragon Fruit ancient type model Allosaurus, which, all this time a lot of us were thinking he was a T-Rex, but he's actually an Allosaurus, which is very similar in design to a T-Rex. It's just certain features on an Allosaurus is different than a T-Rex, where I think T-Rex has all of 3 fingers in total, and then Allosaurus has 4, something along those lines, more or less. We also see Page 1, who has a dragon fruit ancient type model Spinosaurus, and he looks wicked as all get out, very menacing. But Spinosaurus is a very interesting looking creature as well. It's also interesting because we're seeing X-Drake's hybrid form for the first time. We've only ever seen him in his human form or his full Zoan form. We've never seen him in his hybrid form, so that's pretty cool to look at, and it looks pretty intense, I won't lie to you. And then we have Hawkins, just smallly off to the side. And, X-Drake's just like, why are you here, Hawkins? It's just like, Page 1's just like, are you just here for a show, man? Did you just come to, like, get a look in on everything that goes? But Hawkins, he's still on the hunt for, Law, who escaped his grasp earlier in the arc. So all of them are here on a hunting mission to, the 2 members of the Flying Fighters of Kaido's group, which I don't really understand why they're determined as Flying Fighters. Hopefully we'll find out. Maybe it's a translation mistake or something, but eventually we'll find out what that means. But the fact that they're dragon fruit eaters, that's very interesting, because so what does that make Kaido's type of fruit? Is it just a dragon fruit? Or is it something more than that? And it's interesting that they're called dragon fruit and then model whatever dinosaur. That's interesting in and of itself. And that would also explain why Oda didn't introduce dragon fruit before, since Kaido has the dragon fruit. But Hawkins is also here hunting down Law, so a lot of chaos and havoc is going to be wreaked in the Flower Capital, because it's not just them. Apparently, 3 other headliners are here as well, so maybe it's some that we've met before, maybe it's new characters as well. So we'll see what kind of trouble Sanji, Law, and the others are in the Flower Capital. But, got a lot of supernovas up in this place, so we'll see what happens in the next chapter. But hey, tell me your thoughts in the comments section below. What did you think about Franky's fetch quest? What did you think about seeing the full face of Lord Orochi, which he is doofy as all get out, like, man, what a clown. And what did you think about the fact that we're finally seeing X-Drake re-enter the picture with yet another member of the 100 Beast Pirates, another heavy hitter, and now that we've finally gotten a full-on name for X-Drake's Devil Fruit? And we're finding the various types, very powerful fruit. Like, we always thought, it's an ancient zone type fruit too, which are especially, in the, form of very powerful kinds of fruit. But it'll be interesting to see X-Drake throw down. Who do you think he's going to throw down with, of all people? Maybe he'll go toe-to-toe with Sanji. That should be pretty fun. Maybe Page 1 will go toe-to-toe with Franky. That'll be even cooler. But again, tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you liked this video, feel free to leave me a like. If you didn't like this video, feel free to leave me a dislike. And tell me what I'm doing wrong in the comment section below, so I might better myself for the future. But until then, how about subscribing for more One Piece chapter reviews? It's about to get wild. Thanks for joining me.